Welcome to an episode of Founder in the Chair. Today I have a founder with me that as soon as I open social media, she's there. Whether it's on her business page or her personal page, she shows up on not just one platform, but every platform that I go on because she shows up consistently. This lady is the founder of Party Giant Events, a luxury decor company. Her journey into entrepreneurship wasn't exactly planned. She was given an opportunity and she took a leap of faith. And then she fell in love with owning her own time and her creative freedom. But like any business owner, she's faced challenges, none bigger than COVID, shutting down her business overnight. Instead of giving up, she pivoted and found new ways to thrive. What sets Party Giant apart? Attention to the smallest details. Honestly, you have got to see her content. Transparent, engaging, presence online. Sabrina has built a brand that people trust. So I am so honoured to have Sabrina in the Founders Chair today. Welcome, Sabrina.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here. I'm actually really excited.
Thank you.
And I think the reason why I'm excited is because this is the first time I'm sharing my business story. And I think when people listen to this conversation, they're going to be quite shocked and surprised on how I got to where I am today. So excited.
So tell me why they're going to be shocked.
I think this journey of mine is slightly different because I'm not someone that's come from a corporate background. I feel like I have true hustler grit in my veins. I'm not your wake up at 5 a.m. structured, disciplined type of person. So I think my journey to entrepreneurship is slightly different.
You do wake up at 5 a.m, right?
No, I don't.
What about when you do your setups? I thought you did.
Oh, for work, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about my everyday schedule is not
Okay.
like that. I'm not, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. I'm a mum of 2. I have my fingers in a lot of pies. So I'm here, there, everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so not a 5 a.m. girl,
No.
except when you're going to work.
Except when I'm going to
Then you're
work.
going to show up.
Yes.
So Sabrina, be honest. Did you ever think you'd end up in the luxury event business? Or did life just throw you into it? Because I know COVID happened. Was it that, oh shit, what was that moment?
To be honest with you, I was someone that was always a little bit confused. I didn't have much guidance in my teenage years, and I dibbled and dabbled in lots of things. I actually studied media and sociology in university.
Okay.
So I thought when I come out of university, BBC, here I come, you're going to sign me up. But when I got out...
They're missing out. They should
literally,
sign you
well,
up.
time is still ticking, darling. I'm waiting for that phone call. But... when I came out and I thought I was going to have this amazing career, and when I got out of university, I realized actually I'm really confused. I don't know what it is that I want to do. And then an opportunity presented itself in the form of my grandmother's birthday.
Okay.
I woke up one day, it's my Nana's birthday, and I went out looking for a card on I used to live in my grandma's house, and we lived on a high street. And as I was walking, I realized there's no card shops. Like, where am I going to get a card? Where am I going to get a balloon? Like, what's going on? Why can I not get this? And at the time, my uncle used to have an off license on the corner. He used to park his car in his little garage, just this black Jag that he used to drive. And I looked at this space and I said to him, gut it out, give me £5,000, let me turn it into a card shop. And he looked at me like I was
he had
mad.
to give you the money as well.
I was like, and at the time I was a little 21-year-old fresh out of uni, and I'm like, just do this. I really want to do this. I just had this thing inside of me, like I need to open this card shop. So he goes, okay, fine. He got his builders in, they gutted it out, and they created this very small shop, literally the size of this room. And I went online and I looked for wholesalers, and I found all these greeting card specialists, and I just filled the shop up with greeting cards.
Yeah.
And then as time progressed, customers used to come in and ask for things like balloons, banners. And then I started to jump online and look for wholesalers again. And I started introducing those products. And that's how Party Giant was born.
Wow. In a garage.
In a garage, 21-year-old me, just thinking, let me do this. I thought, and he thought within 6 months, that's it.
Sabrina will get bored and
I'll
stop.
get bored, I'll move on to the next thing. And I had that shop for 5 years.
Wow.
Yes. And then it grew into me starting to buy small props and then delivering balloons all over London. And then I met my partner and he helped me, and it just evolved.
That is so interesting. So 21 to 26.
Yeah.
Then what did you do?
Then I fell in love. As you do, right?
Yeah.
I fell in love. I met this small town Southall boy.
Yeah.
And I, fell madly in love with him, and he lived in Southall and I was in Northwest London. I thought, how am I going to run this shop?
Yeah.
And I really wanted to move into the next phase of my life. And I felt like after 5 years, I really felt chained to the till. I was working 7 days a week. I was hustling all the time, and I was tired at that point, and I wanted to do something different. And I really wanted to move on to the next phase of my life of being a wife, being a mother, and seeing how that goes. So I sold my shop, I got married, and I moved to Greenford, West London, to try out this whole wife and mummy life.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you closed the shop down. So did you bring the business to West London?
No, I didn't. Not
So
at that
completely
point.
closed it?
I closed it. I washed my hands. I thought it's time to do something new. At that point, I didn't know what that something new was. But I just knew that at that point, my husband's business was thriving. Maybe I would dibble and dabble with his business. But for now, I wanted to take a break. I was pretty burnt out, and I really wanted to feel like what it was like to be a homeowner, a wife, a mother. And I just embraced that. So I got married. I had my first son. I really spent lots of time with Ruben. We did all the mum stuff, took him to all the groups, did the swimming lessons. But as time progressed, I had this burning desire inside of me, but I didn't know what it was. By then, I had my second son. And within, I would say, 6 months, I realized that I need to get back into Party Giant. But when I decided to get back into Party Giant, the game had changed.
Okay.
No one was looking for a single balloon on a ribbon anymore.
Yeah.
They wanted full scale events. They wanted all the bells and whistles. And I was dumbstruck a little bit, like, how do I do this? I haven't trained into this. But I put my big girl pants on. I jumped on that computer again. And I looked for courses, and I did so many different courses. I looked at YouTube videos. I started to network. And that's when Party Giant Events was born in 2019, a year after I gave birth to my second son.
So you've got 2 children.
Yes.
2019.
Yeah.
So Party Giant started.
Party Giant Events started.
Okay.
Yes.
And then COVID happened.
And then COVID happened.
So what did you do?
Overnight, my business shut down. It was devastating. My husband had a unit at the time, and at the bottom of the unit is where he built this shop for me. And I really assumed like it was going to be the shop that I had 5-6 years ago. And I kitted it up with balloons and badges and banners, and I had my till there, my stool, and
You like this till, right?
I love this till.
Is it the whole pressing the buttons and it tings?
Exactly. And I thought, that's it. I'm going to open my doors and I'm going to make that money again. Like, let's get into it.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit, and overnight, that dream just shattered. Because why? No one's doing events anymore.
Yeah.
The hotels have shut down. The event spaces have shut down. Everyone's locked up, and I didn't know what to do. And after contemplating, I realized that I can't sit on my hands anymore. I need to pivot, because that's what you do in business, right? You pivot, irregardless of what highs and lows that you're going through. You cannot sit still. You have to keep moving. And so I thought to myself, okay, if the venues are closed, if no one's coming out, people still have to celebrate. Like, I know it's pretty morbid at the time, and it's a really uncertain and scary time, but people still need to celebrate. There's people still celebrating celebrating their child's first birthday, or they may be doing, they're having a baby, but they want to have an intimate baby shower. They want to celebrate those milestones, irregardless of what's going on. And why not?
Yeah.
So what can I do? How can I bring the party to them? And that's when I thought of creating mini scale decor pieces. I used to call them balloon towers. And it would be personalized with the child's name or whoever's birthday it was named. It had all the balloons attached. It was this mini structure that I created, and we used to go and drop them at people's doorsteps, whoever ordered them.
Yeah.
And that's how Party Giant events first thrived in its first initial year, by doing these doorstop deliveries.
Wow.
And it was amazing. And I think it was probably the best start to the first year of my business.
Because everyone got to know you then, so that when COVID lockdown was over, they then started booking you?
100%.
Yeah.
So in that year of while there was lockdown, on and off happening, we was doing these doorstep deliveries. But the number one thing I did was show up online. And I would do the most random things on my stories. I would sit there and I would create, or I would just talk about what it is that I want for Party Giant. I would sit there and just have people watch me create different things, or just maybe making a cup of tea, doing a dance routine, and I would just show up all the time. And I got so comfortable with being online, I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And then eventually I started to do Insta lives with other creators.
Okay.
So I think by the time everything started to open up, people really started to know what the brand was all about, what we stood for, who I was. They trusted in it. And then we hit the ground running as soon as the doors opened.
So you just mentioned with other creators.
Yes.
So the decor world,
Yeah.
it's quite competitive.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? Because I see you also teach. You have an
Yeah.
academy.
Yeah.
How do you deal with, I don't know, maybe copycats or people who are just stealing your ideas, your customers? How does that affect you? How do you deal with it?
Honestly, Vina, hand on my heart, I truly, truly believe that the cake is big enough for everyone to take a big chunk out of. I'm not someone that is easily shaken by copycats or whatnot. I just feel like people are just trying to find their feet, and so am I. Like, even though I've been in the industry for almost 7 years now, there's always ways of grabbing inspiration.
Yeah.
And I feel like supporting one another is not going to take shine away from you. So it doesn't affect me, to be really honest with you. I just feel like I'm someone that stays in my own lane.
Yeah.
I have created an amazing community. And luckily for me, I work in an industry where generally people are really lovely, and we support each other as much as we can.
And your academy?
Yes.
That's to support them as well?
Exactly. So the Party Giant Academy, I birthed that idea almost 2 years ago.
Okay.
It's been absolutely amazing experience. It's actually really weird to be on the other side,
Yeah.
where I'm actually teaching, but I thrive off it because I think with me and my personality, I'm definitely a giver. So when I'm teaching, I just want my students to feel really confident after they've left their masterclass or their workshop. I really want to empower them to feel like, okay, I can do this, because we all know that when you're starting a business, it's one of the scariest things in the world, and not only scary, but really, really lonely. And you're often spending months or sometimes years finding your feet. And it's really important for me that once my students leave, they feel confident. And I think that's why I also included a mindset module inside my masterclass, because I feel like a lot of people, when they see me, they think I'm one of those people that walk around with a checklist, and I go to all these fancy hotels, and all I do is just sprinkle my magic. Yes, I do that. However, you'll often see me in my black cargos, a hoodie, my trainers. I'm on the floor, I'm on the knees, I'm creating, I'm picking up heavy backdrops, and people don't realize the true grit that goes into what I do on the daily. So I really make sure I give a massive wake-up call to my students as well.
Yeah.
And sometimes they walk out thinking, wow, I didn't know it took all of this to create that.
So when you are sprinkling your magic and you make content as well, do you plan that in advance, that I'm going here, I'm going to make some content, or is it just off the cuff?
If I'm being really honest with you, it's off the cuff. You know, my time, I work in a pressured environment.
Yeah.
My client is relying on me at that time, be it in 1 hour or 2 hours, to ensure that what they've paid me to do is done, as well as all the other vendors in the room. So I have to ensure that I'm in, it looks amazing, and I'm out. So often, if I'm able to, I will try to plan maybe some music or things that I want to do, you know, depending on time constraints. But most of the time I just jump on the camera and I go, and you know what? I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
I think if you're spending time planning, it can be exhausting. Like we all know social media is like having another full-time job.
Oh, God,
so
absolutely.
It's important to get really comfortable with just picking up the camera and going.
Yeah, which you do. So scrolling through Instagram, it feels like everyone is a creative entrepreneur, and people probably definitely think this about you. How do you actually stand out in an industry where the trends change daily? So I know you've got 2 business pages,
Yeah.
and your personal page,
Yeah.
where you brand yourself.
Yeah.
How important is that, and how do you do it, like across all the pages? Like in the morning I go on and all 3 pages have posted.
Yeah.
And TikTok.
It's a mix. So I think firstly, to answer the first part of your question, is it's really important to show up authentically as you. You cannot be anyone else. How hard you try, eventually the mask will slip. So get really comfortable with who you are as a person. That's the first thing I would say. In all your glory, without makeup, you know, first thing in the morning or last thing at night. Be really comfortable with who you are. If you want to show up online, think about what it is that you're trying to portray. What is your why? At the end of what you're trying to say, what message are you trying to leave your audience with? Have a think about all those things. And I'm not saying every time you pick up the camera, but it should always be there in the back of your mind. So always show up authentically as you. And the second thing is understand that not everyone's going to like you. And guess what? That's okay. You know, there's going to be people that are going to look at your video and you might assume they're cringing. And there's going to be people that are looking at your video and feeling really inspired. So get comfortable with knowing that you're going to be like Marmite. I sure know that I am Marmite. Some people love me. Some people might not like me. And guess what? That's okay. I'm still going to breathe the next day.
Yeah.
So that's the second thing. In terms of how to post and be comfortable with posting regularly and staying consistent, I learned this the hard way because I was that person that would create content using a variety of different apps. And then I would just post and I got really burnt out. And then I realized that actually I need to introduce a few systems into what I'm doing to ensure that I'm not burning myself out. So currently I'm working on and using a variety of systems where my content is I'm making my content at the beginning of the month and it's all scheduled to go out.
For a whole month?
For a month.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'll take 2 days off right now and I will schedule, because I'm the type of person that wherever I am, I'm always taking footage. And that's a top tip. Wherever you are, take your camera out. Whether you're doing the smallest task or the largest task, just bank footage. And then when you get to that point where you're sitting down creating your content, you're going to have tons of footage waiting for you. And then I'll just schedule it out. And then I don't look at it. Every so often, if there's something that I really want to post, then maybe I'll change my schedule or I'm quite constant on my stories. But that's about it because I don't want to burn myself out. I want to enjoy social media. And not only that, I think it's really important to be social on social media. It's not just about me. Okay, sometimes it is, but, you know. But I want to be social. I want to engage with other accounts and you know, go through other people's content and feel inspired. I don't want to feel like I'm drowning in my own content all the time.
No, I love your stories. Do make me laugh. Like I saw you doing the lip liner the other day. That did. You didn't have a mirror, so you were improvising. Like you just keep it so real.
Yeah.
But, you know, you were determined to show this TikTok trend.
Yeah.
TikTok, you've grown on there.
Yeah.
21,000 followers.
That's it.
How did you do that?
I think I got in really early. So I think that makes a massive difference. I think a lot of people won't say that. I think a lot of people will say, oh no, you know, I'm really consistent, blah, blah, blah. Maybe they are, I don't know. But I think one of the biggest things for me was the fact that I got in early. Second thing is that I'm probably my most authentic self on TikTok. I still try to, on my Instagram, I still try to show the professional side of me to a certain extent, but with TikTok, I'm wild. So if you want to see wild Sabrina, head over to TikTok.
Why do people do that? Because you're not the only person who does that. Is it just because TikTok's that type of platform?
I think TikTok is that type of app where you can just show up and people appreciate your craziness. And if anything, it allows you to just show a more realist side of yourself. I think it's just the nature of the app, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Switch for business. Which one's better for you?
It depends on the style of your business. And it depends on how you want to show up in your business and what it is that because I feel like the old school way of being really polished and professional, I think is a little bit gone out the window. I see people that are selling thousands of products on TikTok and all they're doing is user generated content. And all they're doing is maybe like this morning I was selling collagen and all I was doing was mixing powder into my coffee, right? And I've just checked that I've made 3 sales. So I feel like you have to look at your service, your product. You have to look at what is your brand standing for and how do you want to show up, and then you have to choose the right platform for you.
And that was on TikTok that you were selling collagen?
Yeah, this morning.
Well done.
How great does my hair look because of it, guys? Go and get your collagen.
And what's your name on TikTok?
It's Party Giant.
Oh, so you did it on Party
Actually, no,
Giant,
I did it
not
on Sabrina's show. I did it on Sabrina's show, yeah.
Okay, so you wouldn't sell the collagen on Party Giant, would you?
No.
Okay,
No,
fine.
I might sell a pair of scissors though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because it's relevant.
Or some balloon ribbon. You have to see what works for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so when did you realise treating your business like a cute little side hustle wasn't going to cut it? And what was the moment you went from hobbyist to boss?
I think the biggest change for me is when I changed the people that I hung around with. And I feel like your community, your environment plays a massive role with how you show up for yourself. Because I am an entrepreneur and I work by myself and the only person I really talk to all day is my husband and only he can tell me so much. And I work in an environment where I show up in my joggies and my hoodie and it's quite relaxed. My time is my own. And it was like that for many years. I lost myself a little bit. And I lost the vision. I was in love with the creative aspect of it all, but I didn't feel comfortable with the numbers. And it's only when I started to network and I went to different meetings with very empowering ladies and I met fabulous women in business. And at the time I felt it was really daunting for me. And I think it was daunting for me because I didn't know myself. And I got to a habit where I was playing very small and I used to just talk about myself in a really negative way. Oh, I've just got, when people ask, what do you do? I go, oh, I just do balloons, nothing else. And then when I start to hang around with these women that are doing amazing things and showing up for themselves and seeing the way they show up and the way in which they speak about their businesses, that's when I realized that actually, you know what, I need to step up. I need to step into my light a little bit because no, I'm not just doing balloons. I'm there for people's milestone moments. I will be a part of so many. We've done over 600 events. That's over 600 people that I've touched their heart and I've done something amazing for their child or for their granddad's 70th birthday or for their bridal shower, baby shower. And I'm setting the tone for their party. When their guests walk in, their guests are like, wow. And then the party starts, right? So no, I'm not just doing balloons. So I had to really cut the negative self-talk. And I had to look at my business, and that was really scary because sometimes we hide away or shy away from the things that we feel insecure. And for me, it was the numbers. And I had to start breaking things down and implementing structure into my business and putting targets and goals into place to ensure that I'm not just doing this as a hobby and that I am hitting my business goals.
Okay, so if you're in this networking environment now, so before you would say, oh, I just got a little balloon company, how do you introduce yourself now?
I'm like, hi, I'm Sabrina from Party Giant Events. I also own London Igloos and I've got the Sabrina show and I say it loud and proud.
Well done.
Yes.
How long did it take you to get to that? Because there's a lot of people who go to networking events, women's events, and they're still quite shy to shout from the rooftops as to what they do. How do you think you overcame it? I know you said you set goals and you looked at your numbers, but for someone who's listening and they are shy and they don't want to tell people, what advice would you give them?
I would say to you, do it. Step out your comfort zone. It's not about one day. It's about doing it right now. It's going to be hard. You're going to look back. I look back at my old videos and I cringe all the time. Like, what the hell was I doing? What dance move was that? How was I shaking my ass on Instagram? Like, seriously. But with time, with you practicing, with you stepping out of your comfort zone, you will get there. I am totally different person to who I was a few years ago. And you will be too, but you just have to take that first step and just go for it. And another thing I want to say is that it's not that deep. Like, really, we build things up in our head and we feel like the whole world's watching us. But if I be really honest, everyone's really selfish. Like, come on, look at when we're scrolling. We scroll 2 seconds later, we scroll again. You're not that important. I'm sorry to say. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but you're not that important. People just don't care. They're going to see what you've put out and then they're going to scroll on. So you should feel that way as well. Like, don't deep it. Do what you need to do. Step out your comfort zone. Even if it's just first starting off with doing some BTS footage and then maybe a voiceover and then bring your face to camera and then just go with it and see how you feel.
So do you feel it's really important for someone to show their face? Because you get a lot of these faceless pages.
Yeah.
Do you think that works?
I feel like it all depends on the service and product that you're offering, but I feel for small businesses is essential. I feel like you have to show the face behind the brand. People don't buy just the product, they're buying from people. A lot of my clients book me because they're booking with me. They trust me. They know she's going to turn up on time. She's going to bring the fire to the setup, you know. So you have to do the same. You have to back yourself in your business. If you're not showing up for your business, then why would anyone want to book with you?
Yeah. And I can totally believe that people book you because it's you.
Exactly.
Bringing the fire. Okay. So let's talk about work-life balance. You have 2 children and a husband and a house to run. How do you handle the chaos? Because I know you've got 2 boys as well, very boisterous boys. Being a business owner, mum, wife, daughter-in-law, sister, how do you balance it all?
I wish that I could give you my schedule, and I wish that when you looked at the schedule, you'd be highly impressed. But unfortunately, I'm here to keep it really real because I feel it's really important that whoever is watching this realizes that you can run a business and you can have children. And you can try to keep up with your health and fitness, and you can try to do all the million other things that you do, and your life will be chaos as well. You know, I'm sure if I was a much more structured and disciplined person, then my life wouldn't be so chaotic. But that's just not how my personality is. I'm just not that inclined, and I have to do what works for me. I've made peace with the fact that there's certain aspects of my life that are just going to take priority at that particular moment. Right now, I have a sink full of dishes, and that's okay. My kids were fed this morning. That was a priority.
They're at school now.
And they're at school. You know, the business is ticking along and I'm here, but there is laundry, piles of it waiting for me, and that's okay. So, you know, that's just the way it is. Like, I'm not, like I said, I'm not someone that wakes up, 5 a.m. I'm not at the gym at 6 a.m. I am not that person. And you know what? I'm not afraid to admit it. Before, there was a time where I'd feel really insecure with saying what I just said, but I've made peace with it. And I work in a routine that works for me around my kids, around my businesses and all the other things that I have going on. And yes, I have my meltdowns every other week. And that's when I reach out to my girls and they kind of put things into perspective with me. But I've just accepted that this is how my life is. And I really enjoy it. I love knowing that every day is totally different. And it is, honestly.
I love that you just admitted you have meltdowns, because people probably look at you on social media and think, oh, she never has meltdowns. She's so lucky. Oh, look, her husband brought her a cup of tea. Or her kids are so good. They're not like knocking each other's teeth out or something.
Which they are.
So Sabrina, fast forward 5 years, what does Party Giant look like?
Oh, wow.
Is it bigger? Is it global? Are you still running the show? Or is it someone else is doing it and you're somewhere sipping cocktails?
To be honest with you, it's a mixed bag. I really want Party Giant to grow in the capacity that it's growing now. There's so many brand new services that we've just introduced. Obviously, the academy is thriving, and I just want it to continue to do its thing. However, I love the fact that the job, the career that I'm in at the moment with Party Giant allows me the freedom of time. I cannot tell you how much I value my time over any amount of money. The fact that I get to get up, take my kids to school, my whole day is structured around what feels good to me. I don't need to ask anyone for holidays. I don't have to ask anyone, can I go to the loo or whatever it is. My day is structured how I want it to be, apart from obviously the days that I'm at work. And I love the fact that I have that freedom. So yes, I want to be sipping cocktails on the beach. I'm not going to lie.
In 5 years' time?
Tomorrow, honey. So I want to, yeah, I'm at a point in Party Giant where I have implemented structures. I've implemented certain things into my business that later on in life will allow me to do that and give me more freedom of time. And I think that's what it's all about. You have to really analyze your business and you have to think about how is this business or what it is that I'm doing going to take me to the next level, and whatever that next level looks like to you, you got to work on that now. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm hoping big things for Party Giant.
I'm pretty sure you're going to do it. So we're going to listen back to this one day and you're going to be like, yeah, I'm sipping cocktails somewhere now. Is there someone that you admire in the business world? Whether it's someone famous or someone close to you, is there someone that you look up to and think, I'm going to be like them?
To be honest with you, there's so many people that I could, like, names would just roll off the tongue, with women in particular that I admire, and actually not so much in the celebrity world, just in my inner circle. But more than anything, looking at other women, I tend to put the focus on myself. I want to be that woman that I look up to. So I have to look at I often think about, what does that woman do? What is she like? What does her business look like? And I make sure that I focus on myself and the things that I'm doing each day to ensure that when I get there, I'm really proud of who I've turned out to be.
Well done. I love that. So Sabrina, how do we contact you, whether it's for your academy, your igloo business, Party Giant, your handles, your website? Do you want to look towards that camera and just tell them?
So Party Giant events can be found on Instagram under the handle of party_giant. You can also find us on TikTok on Party Giant events. You can find us on Facebook as well. The website is www.partygiantuk.com. And I'm sure you're going to probably link all of this as well.
Yeah.
And that's us. Yeah.
And your personal page?
Personal page, obviously, you can see everything that I get up to on the Sabrina Show, which is on Instagram under the_Sabrina Show. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. That's where you see the real Sabrina up to her antics.
Exactly. No, it's all fun and laughter there.
Love it. So thank you so much for watching this episode of Founder in the Chair. Sabrina has been absolutely brilliant today. You've got to listen to her, whether you're watching, listening. Please like, share, subscribe, follow. And thank you so much for today. Thank you.
Thank you.